Oh shit, Angeline!
What's up? My name is Angeline and I'm an audio engineer and a music producer. I had some time to do a walkthrough to show some of my creative process on how I make beats. I hope this just helps inspire or sparks creativity in anybody. This is a walkthrough of a song that I named Drive. I think I named it Drive because it felt like a beat that you would just cruise to at like 2 a.m. driving around. You can find this beat on my website. My website is officially available at angelineproduction.com. Every single beat I post on YouTube is posted officially on my website, so go feel free to check it out. Cop some merch. This isn't even out yet. Actually got these in today. But it is a cold, rainy day today, which is what's up with the fit and the lack of makeup. But it is what it is. So with Drive, I actually remember the night I was making this beat. It was the first time I was gonna sit down and produce something in a few months. I had back-to-back artists who were trying to finish EPs and albums. So for those few months, I was really dedicated and focused on mixing the projects. So this was actually the first night I had off where I could just go into the studio and just kind of vibe it out. I didn't really have expectations of trying to make a banger per se. I just wanted to get back into the creative flow. So this night, I didn't want to play the same stuff that I always play on my piano. And I also didn't feel like sitting down watching YouTube videos to try and learn a new style of piano. I apologize. Milo! So I looked through my drum file and I had found some MIDI that I had purchased at some point. I don't know how long ago, but they're from Track God, and I went ahead and loaded in a bunch of MIDI that I had from him and basically decided to go with these keys. I'm gonna play them just as a piano because that's how I was listening to it at the time. So I decided to go with these chords. I just really liked it. It already kind of felt like it had an R&B feel to it. It was very simple, so I had plenty of room to add stuff. Eventually, I had pulled up the Anna 2 plugin. So I decided on a sound called Cherish and just played the MIDI. Man, I knew instantly. I heard that and I was like, it's doing all the work for me. I was like, that is such a vibe. It's cool. It's full, but it's also very light feeling. It felt like it was already telling a story, but I hadn't even added stuff onto it. So I was getting pretty excited. And then after that, I wanted to find one more layer of MIDI that I could just load on top of it. So I ended up finding this, also from Track God. And I can tell that I went ahead and muted some of the notes. Apparently, I decided that it was a little too busy. I am currently obsessed with Anna. It's a newer plugin for me. Well, at the time, it was a newer plugin. So it was just filled with a bunch of sounds that I hadn't been able to use. And as you can tell on my notes to the left, I write down sounds that I might like, but I hadn't officially decided on. I wasn't in love with it. So I would write down sounds to go back to if I didn't find anything better. For fun, we can go through and see what sounds I had debated on. The first sound I wrote down was called A Beautiful Dread. Beautiful Dread Lead? Is that what it's called? Yeah. So this is what I initially thought sounded good. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, I could see why I like that. It's a cool little sound. After that, I like this sound called Future. Okay, so this was the second sound I was debating on. Ooh. Whoa, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna make a beat out of that sound later. That's nice. That's cool. That is a cool sound. Damn, that's a cool sound. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna end up making something out of that. That sounded cool, man. So then the one I ended up settling on was called Gentle Petite. And this is what it sounds like. Yeah, the reason I decided to go with that sound was because it felt like it was just complementing the pad. It wasn't doing too much. I felt like I was adding to the beat without making it too busy for an artist to write to. So it looks like I put on, oh, okay. So I put on an EQ to get rid of the harsh high. So that's what it sounds like without the EQ. With the EQ. So that's how I ended up with the main melodies. It looks like that's all there really was. Oh! We're gonna come back to that. Alright. I almost always start off with a snare or a perk. But on this track, I do recall doing the snare first. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up with the snare. Just a very simple pattern, nothing crazy. Very simple snare, and then of course you're gonna do a simple kick to go with it. I didn't want to do anything crazy. I didn't want to do anything that was going to take away from the beat. I wanted to keep it very simple, very mellow. And I was rusty, so I was really just vibing, trying to get the creative juices flowing, but not trying to do too much. So then after that, you gotta add my little hi-hats. The way I normally do hi-hats is I'll do the main, like a very simple main pattern first, which would be this. And then I'll come in on a separate track, draw out the MIDI patterns to do fillers and little stutter effects. I didn't want to keep them on the same because I know that sometimes I use hi-hats as kind of to help decipher between a verse and a hook. The last thing I added was a perk, which this has been fun. I've been getting really into adding like random sounds, like sound effects that are kind of quirky, but they're not going to be in your face. If you hear it, you hear it. If you don't, you don't, type of thing. I love that perk. I thought it was so cool. I didn't want to overly use it, but I definitely wanted it to be in there. So the next thing I added was the 808. So I played the 808. And again, I used Anna. It's got new sounds. I was just really into that plugin, apparently. And this is what I played for the bass line, which you're not going to be able to hear. So I'm going to drag the piano up so you can hear what I actually decided to play on the bass line. So all I did was just drag the notes from the bass and put it on the piano. So this is what it sounds like. It's not a very weird bass line. I feel like it's pretty basic for what most people tend to create nowadays. So this beat kind of did its purpose, and it started to help my creative flow, and I felt like I kind of got back into the routine of just creating. So I wasn't going to spend much more time on it, and honestly I was pretty satisfied with the way it came out. I just knew I wanted to do a little bit of something, that way it just wasn't a full loop all the way through, which is how I came up with the stutter idea. Now, the stutter idea, I started off with the main MIDI, and I decided to basically take the MIDI and add it by triples. And this is what it sounds like. So I knew for sure I wanted to do the 3. I think I must have heard that somewhere. But then the extra stutters, it just kind of came to me in my head. So the next MIDI I had to add the stutter to was the main flute. I basically just did the same thing. I shortened the MIDI and just added extras to make it stutter. So this is what it came out to. Oh, if I can get it to play. This is dope. And then of course you gotta make your drums do it too. So I got the kick in there. And I put the snare in there. And then of course you gotta get the hi-hat. And then last thing, I wanted that perk. I was obsessed with the way this perk sounded. And then it just goes into the beat. And that's it. That's how this beat drive was made. And I hope, you know, it helps kind of create a little bit of inspiration to anybody who watched this video. I appreciate your ear. I appreciate you taking the time to check this video out. Please follow me on Instagram. Hit up the website if you want any beats or any merch. This beanie should be available by then. Just saying. And Milo says thanks for watching. Come here, Milo. Come here. Say hello. Milo, say hello to everybody. Say, go copy some merch. Say bye, Milo. Say bye. Say bye. Okay, that's close enough.